Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this conference. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but this online presentation is also one of my favorite go-to when things haven't gone to normal in this pandemic time. So I'm thankful to James for organizing this whole ordeal. I'm very thankful to you, James, and I'm really meaning it in person. So getting back onto my topic, our topic is assessment of bacterial load in PET bottled water, and this was carried out by me when I was back in my home country, Nepal. So, as we all know, PET is a long-chain polymer belonging to the polyester family, and, and the intermediates of PET are terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol, which are both acquired using petroleum products or oil feeds. And the main thing why this pet has become so much of a norm is because it's very cheap to be made and it's readily available. But the downsides are it's not easily biodegradable, and only 14% have been recycled so far. And the worst thing is that if it's not biologically degraded or broken down earlier on, then it can possibly last up to a millennia. And talking more about PET, we know PET's biological degradation is formidable, and it's composed of two simple monomers, which is articulated with ester bond. And the ester bond is at the ester bond forms at only 1400. And as per recent studies, uh, extremophiles are only able to degrade bacteria by producing PETase and metase enzyme. But this PETase and metase enzyme will only, degrade the polymer in its basic monomer form, like terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol, mainly terephthalic acid. But if we genetically engineer E. coli, because E. coli, a lot of research has been done on E. coli. So if we do it on E. coli, then I think we can produce a new resource from plastic like vanilla. It's also possible. So but the main purpose of this study was to assess physiochemical and microbiological parameters of bottled water along with its physical condition of bottled water. So I know though this methodology portion is a bit small, so I'll get right to it. In physiochemical portion, we measured pH, conductivity, total dissolved solid, and then we did the FTIR of plastic bottle. And in microbiological portion, we did HPC, we did weight mount, and iodine mount, MF technique, and we use differential media like M-Indo agar and selective media like cetrimide agar to determine or to isolate the extremophile like coliform and pseudomonas. Then we incubated it, subcultured it on a nutrient agar, and then we inoculated it into nutrient growth, and then we did further identification, and after that data analysis was done. And talking about results, the main thing, as you can see, is in bottle type. Well, the bottle type was directly proportional, not just proportional, directly correlational with the heterotrophic plate count and coliform plate count, and negatively associated with the pseudomonas plate count. So what we can assume from this is uh, in scratch and dented bottle, a species could easily proliferate, and so could coliform. But your pseudomonas would need to compete against coliform, and HPC. So it could be the main reason why the correlation, why it was negatively correlated. Uh, and same can be said, in HPC and coliform count, because they both were negatively correlated with pseudomonas count. And let's come to the discussion portion. What we can determine from here, from the earlier table, is that PET polymers are not immune to degradation, as a physical, chemical, and microbiological parameter also affect the normal polymer composition. And this really high, the statistics really say those numbers, but we'll have to check again in after doing a lot of research. And the scratch and dented bottle was found to be highly contaminated with microorganisms that could be due to, increased surface area provided by the rough edges. That could either be due to scratch or dent in the bottled water. And what the future really needs is a self-cleaning bottle, and is totally in demand. So it could be achieved either by CRISPR or genetic engineering or nanotechnology. So this could really happen in like 20 years or so, and we all should be really keeping our fingers crossed over here for it. And due to microbial leaching, even carcinogens could be present in seawater. So a lot of research have been conducted so far, and two of my papers have talked about it. So this is really a big problem in bottled water. And in third world countries, bottled water have even caused morbidity in immune compromised person, and more mortality is also a norm over there. So this is what the future will look like. So in the rightmost portion, on the very top picture, you can see a pet fragment, which is a bit clean, and that was controlled. And on the bottom two side, you can see two degraded, scratched and dented PET polymer. So when we did FTIR on those things, we found a very interesting result. So the blue line is of the control polymer, and the D line is of the sample, of the scratched and dented sample. So you can see that in control sample there 1400 is not the bond at 1400 is not present, but at sample of scratched and dented bottle, we have noticed a bond at 1400. So what that means is also ester bond has been cleaved. And and what that means is that the intermediates of PET polymer, tetraphthalate acid and ethylene glycol was released in the bottled water too. And this could be checked by using nanochromatography or even liquid chromatography. So, or even we could engineer a nano array to even detect it. So, and talking about biological method, if we genetically engineer an E. coli bacteria, then the result would look something like this. So plastic waste will be degraded into tetraphthalate acid, and the genetically engineered E. coli would degrade that into would change the few of the bonds and make it into vanillin, like you can see in the rightmost portion. And vanillin can be produced from plastic as resource production, and it could be used and after refining it can be used as vanilla, and it could even be used in ice cream and pastries. So more ice cream for us, I guess. So the main conclusion of this story are extremophile present in HPC may lead to degradation of PET in the presence of micronutrients. Extremophile bacteria that survive on bottled water for a long time can incline to survival mechanisms and solely survive on complex polymer like PET. And the PET polymers are not immune to degradation. So we talked about this in our introduction too. And the extremophile can be used to degrade PET polymers, and PET polymer can be reused, and material cost could be saved. And even after even if we produce the resource like vanillin, it would be really cheap. All of this can be found in our three papers that we have done on bottled water back in Nepal. And we are very thankful to Nepal Health Research Council, which is a part of Ministry of Health and Population, for providing grant. And we're also thankful for Ministry of Urban Development, Ministry of Agriculture, and Ministry of Industry to for collaborating with us on this. And we are specifically thankful to Dr. Srijan Lazarus, Dr. Rameswar Adhikari, Dr. Loma Saryal, Dr. Jyoti Giri, Mr. Prakash Gautam, Dr. Isor Subedi, Mr. Manoj Rana, Dr. Biswanath Acharya, Mr. Arnab Basnet, Mr. Kanchan Thapa, Professor Dr. Pradeep Kumar Shrestha, and Ms. Prasansa Pant, and Mrs. Pamela Parajuli for helping us and guiding us all through the way. So these are few of the references that we looked up during our the entire papers, and that will be all for today. If there are any questions, please let us know through email. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.